What is going on, guys? Viking Nez here with another Warhammer video. Before we get into the gameplay though, here is just a couple of things. So as this is being released, it's not quite the 5.1 update, but it's not going to change that much. This guide will then still be valid. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. We are going to be playing thorgrim grudgebear this time. It pretty much works the same for most dwarfs. We're playing the hard difficulties, the highest difficulties. If you are new, this guide will still work for you, so don't worry too much. So let's get into the gameplay. Okay guys, so let's get into this campaign. And so if you are a new player, welcome to Warhammer Total War. It is an awesome game. If you are a veteran and you haven't played for a while, then there is some serious changes happening. So for one, we now have a grudge meter, which is going to change slightly, but it won't affect us too badly. Obviously, the Age of Reckoning, if you watch the starter video, it's sort of this is basically what thorgrim grudgebear is on about. There will be a reckoning! So this is pretty much the Age of Reckoning meter. As you can see, we are currently suffering some penalties. As you get grudges, you get further along the meter, and it does recycle every 10 turns. But the biggest thing with the new dwarfs is at tier 1 you get your dwarf warriors. So this was such a big thing. So whilst before you used to have to build a building just to get these three here: the miners with depth charges, the dwarf warriors, and the great weapons. Before, you just got these guys. And if you've ever had to try and fend off all these with just them, you'll understand why a lot of people didn't play dwarfs. It was just ridiculous. If you're a new player, this was ridiculously hard. You are not in a great position at Karasaki Karak, so it put a lot of people off. But here's the thing. So point number 1 to the guide is spread out your buildings. You obviously don't want to be you don't want things like a barracks, or once you get to tier 3, you don't want things like the growth building. You want to save these buildings for the big daddy guys that you can only get in your main settlements, like your organ guns, flame cannons, your thunder barges, which is a new unit, by the way, Kerching, but more about them in a second. Obviously now they break down into tiers at just tier 2, so pretty much within the first 5 turns of the game you can now get your heroes, some lords and some heroes. Oh yes. So this was sort of tier 3 type things. You had to wait about 15 to 20 turns before you could get your heroes. Now you only have to wait 3 turns before you can get your grudge throwers at tier 2. That has not changed, but at tier 2 now you can get your Thayans, you can get your runesmiths, and you can get your engineers. Obviously you're going to need, if you want the new demon and dragon slayers, you're going to have to wait until tier 3, which isn't, to be honest, isn't too bad, because once you start getting these units here, so slayer pirates, you can, as Malachi McCason, you can pretty much win every fight with slayer pirates, some cannons, and the spear of Grumney. So the first thing you are going to want to do is spread out your forces. First things first, we're just going to get this building right here, which is going to generate your oath gold. You are going to want to put one of these buildings in every single one of your tiers. Like, otherwise it's gonna benefit you greatly later on, and we will explain why. I'm not going to fight the first battle in this one. I'm just going to auto-resolve it because just for the sake of speeding up the video, but you are going to want to fight the first few battles because it is really, really important that you keep these guys as strong as you possibly can, because we are going to really, really need to push the first couple of turns. As you can see here, you get a set amount of grudges. If an army beats you or takes a settlement or beats a lord or small army, then their grudges are going to go up. So, why are we focusing so hard on grudges? Well, I so happen to stumble upon, whilst steamrolling as the dwarfs, of which you can now do, going into your great book of grudges, you will see your legendary grudges, which is what you're going to need to complete to finish your grand campaign. But more importantly, we have legendary lords. So, once you have a few settlements, you are gonna start being able to recruit these guys. Now, you can do this at a very early turn. Let me demonstrate. Again, I don't recommend auto-resolving the battles. You're gonna want to fight these. I'm just doing this for the speed, purely just the speed of the video. So as you can see here, we're in turn 1. We have fought 2 battles, which means we're going to be leveling up thorgrim grudgebearer. You're going to want to take these as you fight these enemies. If you go to war with the vampires, you're going to want to get extra leadership and extra melee attack against your vampire counts. It's in the whole army, so every unit gets these. As we're going to be fighting orcs and skaven, we're going to want to take this buff. So, engineer, the first thing I would do as the engineer is get, after your 2 battles, your movement and your ammo replenishment, which is going to be really, really handy for things like your quarrelers and your gyro bombers and gyrocopters and cannons and stuff like that. But, most importantly, the new tech tree. As you can see here, this is why you need to build those oath gold buildings. Not only do they give you a little bit of money, but you're going to need these for your some of your technologies, especially the big ones, the major technologies. Things like extra range and missiles, better defense, better qualities in your units. As you get further, you're going to need to get a lot of oath gold, so you're going to need at least one of those buildings in every province, minimum. I always tend to go through the building side first, so you've got buildings and your economy, and then you've got your fighting, your recruitment, your buffs, things like that. You're going to want to go and try and get this 10% growth as fast as you possibly can. So that wraps up turn 1. Let's go into turn 2. Okay guys, so here is turn 2. As you can see, there's been some conniving against us. Some scooms are coming, but what we are going to want to do is just secure the Silver Road. Now, at this point, you used to have to get a lord so you could fight it and then make your way here and then go and attack Skarsnik. You can take your time. You can take your sweet time in doing this. As you can see, we can now get rid of this because we are going to want to put a much better building in, and we're going to hopefully get some thunderers very, very soon. Do I get some money? Or yeah, we'll get some money and we'll get some oath gold. Why not? Province secure. Do not overlook this little section here, guys. I will just show you lower recruitment cost and 1 local capacity. That's going to be very handy for this turn because we're going to go for Skarsnik. We're going to get that rune of smite. I'm going to get some leadership and some armor. You don't have to play this exactly the way I do. If you want to go and explore, guys, go and explore. But this is a 10-turn guide that will give you the best start. Grudge units. As you can see here, as you get more grudges, you will be able to unravel and unlock these units. If you're ever unsure of what they do, here is all the units and all the buffs that they get before you obviously get them, if that makes sense. So, legendary lords. We have a province. Obviously, Malachi is 300 and got settled grudges. He's got 308. And let's just take a quick another look at this. Total settled grudges, we are on 900, which is good. He has 1 settlement. And let's just look at this confederate thing here. So, to convince a legendary lord of joining you, surprise their faction total number of grudges by the set amount. Masters of Innovation, settled grudges, 308. Total grudges you need to confederate this lord. That is quite a lot. And as you can see here, if all these do go up as you confederate each lord, but your first lord you are going to want to confederate is Malachi McCason, because you want that Spirit of Grundy, trust me. So we are going to need quite a lot. We are going to need a lot of grudges, which of course we are going to be working our way forward, and we should be able to do fairly quickly. And if you're ever unsure and you don't know how many grudges you have or you need, go onto your lord page and you literally just look and it will tell you exactly how many you have. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, moving on. Recruitment. You can recruit anything you want. We are going to have some depth charges because I like making things set on fire. And if you are an old player, notice you don't just get given a 10 or 5% chance of getting slayers, because we have these wonderful bad boys in here, which we are very lucky to have. So that will come into next turn, which, to be fair, will probably be a turn too late. So we're just going to change this to growth. If you are suffering major penalties, you can of course get your control back in order by doing this. If you are a new player, you probably were unsure of this, but if you're a veteran, then you know what I'm talking about. We're going to get that heavy stone moving, and I will see you in turn 3. Okay guys, we are here in turn 3. If you wish at this point, you can recruit another lord, but it's again entirely up to you. If you feel you need another lord, I would grab another lord. Obviously Skarsnik has not yet moved. What we're going to do is I'm just going to recruit another turn. We're going to wait for him to come over to the World Edge Mountain, because we're going to want to... You have to get the Rune of Spite, which is this one, or the Master Rune of Spite. You need to win 4 battles. Obviously, if we beat him here, we then only have 1 province to get, and we'd have to sack it over and over and over again. But if we wait, the High King acts. With thorgrim grudgebear here, just in case Skarsnik comes down and attacks. Very unlikely, but you know, depending on what difficulty you're playing as, can go. So obviously if you have to wait a turn, leave it on the extra recruitment. It will give you an extra unit of dwarf warriors or great weapons or whoever you choose. Let's just take a look at the book. Pretty much everyone has stayed the same. This is also a good way of keeping track on how the other dwarfs are doing as well. Something I definitely overlooked, but you get an idea of what's going on. Turn number 4. Okay, guys. So as you've just seen, Skarsnik has come up to the world's edge archway. We can go and declare war on him now. But before you declare war on an enemy, always check to see if you can. Excuse me. Always check to see if you can get something out of it. So at the moment they're just at war with the orcs, but if, say, I don't know, you get further down the line and Belagar Ironhammer or somebody is at war with a faction you are about to declare war on, have a look, see if you can get something out of it. Pro tip for you guys, which is something if you are a new player or maybe you just don't do it very often, like you don't look at the diplomacy very much, is something for you guys to consider if you don't already do so. But obviously he's not at war with anyone that we particularly like or want to get anything out of, so we're gonna just go straight for him. You are gonna do not sack this. You are gonna need this settlement whole, because I promise you, Skarsnik will come down and attack us. This will give us 6 units. So this is 6 added on to our own. That will then give us a full 20 units. Because as Skarsnik comes down, you are going to want to make sure, and we already get dwarf warriors anyway, you're going to want to make sure your army is as strong as it possibly can be when Skarsnik comes down, because I promise you, he's going to. Turn 5. And as promised, guys, here is Skarsnik. We're going to do the big bad auto-resolve, but I would recommend fighting this. You can get a much better result. I'm going to just auto-resolve it to save time, and I'd quite like to wipe out his whole army, and you wipe out his whole army. Ooh. That's not as much replenishment as I thought. We're going to get 90 oath gold instead. Another thing to consider, guys, the best way of getting oath gold is by winning battles. It's just how it is. The bigger the army, the more oath gold you get. The smaller the army, the smaller reward you get. Pro tip, however many that is. I don't know. But here we come into, I think it's turn 6. Okay, guys, we are here in turn 6, and we have been giving a quest battle, which we are not going to do just yet. You can do these quest battles whenever you like, and a pro tip for you, we've getting some grudges, so we should be able to get some grudge units. Not yet. So we are here. Grudge Settler Quarrel Slayers added to availability grudge settlers. Current grudges progress. So we have 1,469 out of a current 3,009. So our total grudges settled are 1,064, and you can see it just on there. We are 37% of the way there, and we are now coming in to the pluses. So we'll be able to get grudge settler quarrelers, grudge throwers, longbeards will be added very, very soon. We just have to complete this bar here. And we have beaten Skarsnik. So that is our second fight. Which, if we go on to this one, we'll say win 4 battles, current total 2. So that should be 3, 4, sack the settlement, then occupy it to get that rune. because then it's a free rune and it's bloody powerful rune. You're gonna want to get it. Obviously, we're gonna go for the extra physical resistance, extra melee attack. And I recommend doing this before you go into a battle. So level up your heroes, then go into the next battle, because every little helps. And you don't want to go into a battle with less buffs than you would have if you hadn't in the first place. Again, we're going to auto-resolve this just for the speed of the video, but I recommend that you play these because A, it's very good for experience, especially if you're a new player, and B, you keep your army in the best shape. So not only do you get the best out of the game, you also keep your armies nice and replenished. Gonna get a little bit more movement now because we're gonna make our run. And I love the fact that we can get dwarf warriors straight off the bat, because we're gonna go and do that now. How are we looking? No legendary lords yet. I really want Malachite McCason. We're so far away from getting him. But it's going to be good when we do. And again, guys, do not forget to do these. It is such a waste of a turn if you're not doing your technologies. Make sure you are getting your technologies, guys. So, not gonna build this building in here anymore because it is only a tier 2. I would like a runesmith. And I would also like some gyrocopters. And we're going to upgrade this one first because it gives us the most money and increases our trade. I'm going to upgrade this one. So what I'm going to do, guys, and what I recommend you guys doing this as well, is put different barracks in different settlements. That way, if you do get swarmed and you lose a building, you don't lose the ability to recruit every unit in one go. If you put all your barracks in all the buildings, so a gun, the gunner school, the barracks and everything like that, and they destroy this building, you then can't recruit any of these units anymore in that province. But by spreading them out, if you lose one, you can still recruit some good troops to then take it back. By doing this, it is defensively the better decision. If you are not a fast grower or a rusher in this game, so you don't rush the AI, you are going to want to make sure that you are spreading out your casualties as much as you can. Okay, turn number 6. Hey guys, here we go. We are in turn 6, only 4 more turns to go, and I'm going to be getting this one for the minus 10% in infantry units. Now, we are gonna just make our way up to the edge. Now, if you wanted to, you could get a lord, sit there, and sit in ambush stance, because they would then attack that lord thinking, easy win. That's how you set up most of your ambushes. That is 9 times out of 10 what the AI falls for. I would recommend using the underway to get to here, but I made a mistake and thought I could recruit. I thought the line for these settlements were here, but as you can see, High Pass's edge is there, and that edge apparently is there too. So Mount Gumbad, for some reason, if you were this side of the green line, you'd be able to recruit. But as we are currently in the mountain, as we are in the pass of Mount Gumbad, we can't recruit. So that's why we can't recruit. Turn 7. Okay, here we are in turn number 7. Oh, what? I've just built some diplomatic relations. Okay, so what you're going to want to do normally, guys, is sit in this stance here. It gives you replenishment and allows you to recruit stuff and, you know, do odd bits here. But we're going to skip that. We're going to always check what you're about to go into. Never just rush into a settlement. And I know this is a very unpopular opinion, but don't be afraid to sit in a siege for a little while. There's no reason to just charge and try and beat everything. Obviously, if you want to take it and beat the game and blow everything up, go ahead, go for it. But just I'm just gonna show you. Here's what happens when you sit just in a siege. Okay, you see that? Nothing happens. Nothing goes wrong. You don't lose anything. Obviously, if there are some enemy armies that you know are going to come and help them, then yes, sometimes you might have to fight that. But I would recommend also fighting these siege battles. I am going to again wait for the auto resolve just to speed the video up. But as you can see here now, the Silver Road is getting well underway. And we can get some more income and some more oath gold each turn, which again is good. Just going to check the legendary lord, still can't confederate him. Oh, he's going to be such a beastie boy to get. Anyway, very quickly, turn 8. Okay guys, it's turn 8. The enemy did come out and attack us, which got us the Rune of Spite.
Be sure to put your oath gold to good use.
You heard it here first. Be sure to put your oath gold at good use. So that is mission complete, and we have a new quest issued. But before we go in, we did get some stuff for thorgrim, so we're going to get that passive ability, going to give him some extra health, and again, just level up your heroes before you go in. We are going to put the Rune of Spite on thorgrim, because it's a free rune and it's bloody awesome. Can't get any grudge units, that's fine.
Throw bears! Let's march!
And obviously we've got rid of that first army. That's fine, I can live with that. Again, this is just purely for the speed of the video. Do not auto-resolve all your battles. It's not healthy. We're gonna just do that because we want to keep Mount Gumbad. And we can get some gyrocopters on the way back down. We aren't going to be able to move too far away. And obviously we've got our Regiment of Renowned. And we are successfully into the growth part, which is extra 10% growth, which will be really, really handy for the Silver Road. As you can see, it is balanced out very nicely. So here it is, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the first 10 turn guide. I know we've only done 8, but we've got enough oath gold now to be comfortable. And you have your 2 provinces. Now, Mount Gumbad is very, very good because it has gold in it. So it's a very good earner for money. Once you get to tier 2, you are going to want to put walls in the World Edge Archway, because if you don't plan on going into the Badlands, you're going to want to put a lord here just to make sure that you keep these 2 provinces safe. Or if you fancy it, you can go and bash the vampires, go into the Badlands, but you are, again, it's entirely up to you, whatever you do. My recommendation for this is whoever declares war on you, that's who you should go and fight. Because they're gonna come for you sooner or later. You're gonna want to get rid of them before they start causing you problems. So that is my recommendation for especially thorgrim. Now, in most of my campaigns, I've been able to just put an army in here and go and absolutely ravish the Badlands. But for you guys, you might want to send thorgrim, grudgebearer, and then just keep a second army to keep the Silver Road safe. It is a lot easier now that we can get, it's tier 2, we're in turn 10, and we can already start recruiting rune lords, extra heroes. We're going to be able to get a Thayan very soon. We already have a master engineer, but if he dies, you don't fret, you can get them again. So in 3 turns, in 5 turns, because that takes 2 to build, you're going to be able to get a Thayan and your quarrelers. You can already recruit gyrocopters. You could, if you wanted to, you could have grudge throws instead. Build the army however you particularly want to play, guys. But this is my recommended setup for you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you want to do things differently, what you feel might work or might not work. But I found in all my thorgrim grudgebearer campaigns, do this by turn 10 and you will be well on your way to a good campaign, guys. I've been Viking Nez, you guys have been awesome. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you guys very, very soon. And if I don't see you soon, I will see you in Valhalla. Bye.